Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. I know how you love mixed media, so we're going to do a little bit of that today. We're going to do a little bit of, what is this, embossing, and we're going to do some stenciling, and we're going to do a little bit of a paint technique to bring out this skeleton. This is a texture, 3D texture fades. It's 665771, and I've been watching it for a couple years and wanted it really bad, so I finally got it. Well, I did one. It turned out pretty great, although the the deeper areas should have been a little darker. So then I tried to do it and leave the black distress paint. This is black soot, and leave it on there a little longer. I even heated it, but I left it on too long this time. So it was harder to get off. So you can see where I actually used a little bit of a foul, you know, whatever you call it, sandpaper here to rub over it so I could get the silver to come back. But the thing was, I was digging in so hard, I was actually getting the cardstock that's underneath. So we're going to do one more, and we're going to try to make it just right, you know, like the three bears. All right. Thank you for coming to visit and to join me today to see what I had to show you. It's just something simple. I've got this piece of paper. I think that was out of my Dark Academia book. It's just a 12 by 12. It's got that little strip on the end of it. But I'm going to probably make some little small books for Halloween for the shop. And what I'm thinking is I'll cut these down. I'm going to cut it 6 and 6. And then I'll have 2 books. And then this is going to be the cover. I've got a few little scrappy pieces here that was from one of the last few videos I did with the index cards. And I think I used these on the back side of something so you could journal on it. Well, these were those little pieces that were left. And I'm going to use them to frame one of these. And on the back side of this, of course, it's white. So I'm going to use a stencil. We're going to like go over it with our little brush to put a base color, probably the vintage photo, down on it. And then we'll go over it with one of the darker, maybe scorched timber or ground espresso, and or maybe a little mixture of different ones to give several colors. And with this, I like it because it's got 13. It's got lucky, lost, found, those kind of things. It's got art. But I thought that could be for, Halloween. It could be. So we'll set that aside. The little brush here goes with the paint. We'll put that over here. And then, yeah, we'll get all these other goodies over to the left. Now, the first thing I need to do is probably cut this in half. And then we're going to have to emboss, to emboss that. And here is the folder. Now, you have a embossed side and a debossed side when you get to these. So you have to make sure that you have this on the embossed side, which means the skeletons are going to be indented. So that part is going to actually stick up for you. Now the debossed side is down here, and that's going to be making the sunken areas. So, oh yeah. It's one or the other. But see, these are basically almost like a full skeleton right here with the deepy areas. Sorry. In below. And then this part is going to be the part that goes over top. So that's the way I always remember it. The emboss, I think, is up here. The deboss is below. But I may have that backwards. Anyhow, you sometimes will see people that'll take these and actually put ink on them and actually then emboss, and you have like different things that way where you can see stuff. Now, it might not be such a bad idea. I don't know, though. The part about the distress paint, it is permanent. It's permanent once it's dry. Oh, let's just go ahead and let's just go ahead and do it. All right, so let me get my little embossing guy up here. And we're going to, how do I have to do this? And I have to do this a certain way when it's one of these extra deep embossing folders. I can't use either of the plates. They look worse for wear, don't they? I have to use, where is it? I have a rubber mat here. And this rubber mat is usually what I use with just the big deep plate that's the bottom, like that. So I'll stick that on here, and I had to learn this the hard way. You can put shims under here. You can do all kinds of different things. Now we're taking this paper, which I made sure that it was about the size, a little bigger than the actual piece here. The trick is, whenever you're embossing something, you're going to want to squirt it a little bit with, like, mist it. So we're going to mist this just a little bit. And I got a bad mister, I can tell you that. Here. So, yeah. So, I've got it a little wet. I can run it around with my finger if I want to. This helps. This helps on just regular embossing folders and on this. You don't want to wet it now. You just want to mist it. So, we're going to get that in there. Put it down. And it's not quite straight. And then we're going to put this rubber mat on top of it. Now what happens is it's not going to hold still. It's going to actually move the rubber mat. But that's okay. As long as it gets it through there and gives me enough pressure. That's what you want, pressure. Okay, let's see what we got with that. If it's not enough, we'll go again. But usually it's, oh yeah, it's fine. Look at that, it's fine. You got a little bit of crinkle on each side. That's just because this was a little bigger than it needed to be. Let me get a little bit of this water up. And now we're going to try to do our special effect of painting it. Let me get this out of the way. And I'm going to find just a scrap piece of paper down in here to lay this on. You've seen this before, haven't you? I do that. I'll pick stuff out of my trash can and just use it. It got a little wet because I put a wet rag in there. And you can see it's a little damp, but that's okay. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. We're going to actually put a little, we're going to shake it. You really want to shake this. And this one is a little wetter. It's a little runnier than the other ones. Okay, I'll put about 3 drops. And then we're just going to smear it around. And what you want to do is try to get it into all of those little cracks and crevices. Yeah. And it does start to dry a little bit, which is good. Because the trick to this is you'll have a little paper towel that you'll dampen. And you'll then rub that over top your surface area to give you the base or the bottom areas to be black still, or gray. What, you know, you might like the way I had the first one here, where it's just a shallow kind of a look. Then again, you may like the deeper. And that's why I was trying with my other one, but I went too far. You don't want to go too far. All right, while I'm doing this, I will tell you a little story. Okay, these are ways that my grandma made money. She didn't have the first job. They only lived on farms, usually, and they would make their life off of the farm. Now, I don't even know if she got Social Security, to tell you the truth, but yeah, they would live and try to make money with what they had. The animals, raising them, selling them, the stuff that came off of the animals, you know, like the milk and that kind of thing. So at one point she had turkeys, and they raised the turkeys. They did it about 4 or 5 years, I think. And this was the last place that they lived, where my dad, you know, finally grew up all the way, and then he went into the military. And they would keep them a few years, you know, raise them until they were old enough, and then they would sell them on the foot, which means, I guess, alive. They would sell them, and somebody would come and pick them up. So they would get so much money for that. And then there was a place in town, and I didn't realize this because we went to that Klotz place down where they have the stain class in our town of Stanton. And then there was actually a place right up above them, which is Kaufman. And that's the place that she was talking about, or Dad was talking about, where they bought eggs and butter and turkey and chicken. And they bought all of that stuff off of you. Um, there was also the Stanton Creamery, and they used to be there in town, or there nearby that. And what they would do is you would have a number, and you would have like one of them big jars, the milk jars. And this was like 2 to 3, things high, feet high. They were big. They were really big. You would know them if you seen them, but there's hardly any around anymore. But you would save your cream off of your milk after you milked your cattle, and they would take that. You separated the cream out of the milk and all the rest of it, and then once you had enough of it, you put it in this jar, and then you would take it and put it beside the road, and you have a little metal number hanging off of your milk jug, and they would give you credit for it. And then once a month, you got the pay. You got money in the mail. So let me see. I'm going to have to go in here and clean off my brush. That's enough brushing. And then I'm going to heat it a little bit and try to dry it. And then we'll take off this coating. Okay, I dried it just about a minute. I didn't want to do too much this time. And then you're going to take your squirt brush again and just mist you a paper towel where it's just slightly damp. It don't have to be too damp. And then you're going to rub it down across there. Not too hard, because it'll go into the crevices if you do. But you're just going to take it and you're going to just gently kind of rub it down and try to pick up some of that top coating of the black. Just gently, gently. I've, like I said, been looking at this, and I just loved it. And I just had to have it. And I thought at one point that it was out of stock. And they must have got some more in, or they found some more. Now, you can rub it different ways, and that might get a better impression. And I'm barely rubbing over top of it, but like there, I know that's a skull. So I'm going to do it a little more aggressive. And like right there. Ooh, this one may have turned out pretty good. Now, once you get it wiped off to the point that you like it, now that I really like that one. See, this one's a little lighter. So all I got to do is like heat that the rest of the way, or set it to the side. And it should dry by the time I want to pick it back up again. So we'll do that. Because next we have to take our paper and cut it. I don't want this to be damp on here, but it sort of is. Alright, so we're going to take this. And I'm sorry the camera was a little wonky there before. You know it. I'm going to have it wonky if it can be. Alright, I need it to be 6 inches. I have this one piece. And I'm going to go ahead and cut off, because we don't need it. And put it over here. My little pile of scraps is growing. Alright, so now what we want to do is we're going to go to 6 inches and cut this in half. And just like that. And then, how do we want it? Okay, this is a little taller than it needs to be, but that's okay. Because I can trim that lower part off, and I'm not really losing much of anything, if you notice. Right down there. So what we're going to do, I don't even know if we need to frame it with these pieces over here, to tell you the truth. It doesn't look like it needs it. So let me, I'm trying to figure out how big that is. Okay, so that's about 5 inches wide, right? Yeah, I guess so. So this only needs to be 10. So let's go ahead and cut it at 10. And they're just going to be little books. I'm going to put some of my dyed papers in them. And, you know, just put some spooky stuff. Stuff that Miss Chesita probably sent me. She sent me all kinds of good stuff. Now, these little pieces, this is one of those one-page wonder deals. These little pieces can be pockets on the front and the back. Or just, you know, one or the other or both. It doesn't matter. However you want to use them, you can use them up. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is cut our main piece here down. Let's go ahead and use that one. I'll let the other one dry all the way. But we'll go ahead and use this one and see about cutting this base off right here. And here is my 5-inch mark. Is that what I wanted? 5 inches? I guess so. And it's about right there, right below that jawline. So let's see what that is. Oh no, it's there. So that is basically 5.5. Let me go 5.5, and we'll see. I mean, there's not really enough left there to really tell what it is, so we don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I mean, see, you didn't really lose anything. Nothing that you would have noticed. And you're going to put that on there. And see if it's square. That's the only thing. It looks square. Let's lay it on here and see. So if we laid it right here against this line, and it's going down this line, and it's straight. Okay, we're straight. So we want to go next with our stenciling. I'm going to get that poor piece of paper back out again. And we're going to figure out which way is up. Because I think, I don't know, it may matter and it may not. So it just depends. So we're going to stick this over here. I've been working on my covers for my Poe journal. So I've got 4 of these cut out. Yes. So now I just got to get in there and cover them. See, all of these I'm going to get out of the way. And I come back in here and finish that later. But we're going to go over this first with probably Vintage Photo. And this fine little brush here that I've got. I think it'll go on there pretty good. Let's see. If it's light, that's fine. Because we're going to go back over it with the detail. But I just didn't want it to be, you know, glaring white. And also remember, if you're putting pockets on the bottom, you don't have to go that far. You could, like, stop right there. And you're just going to squiggle it around. Squiggle, squiggle. And get it to cover. Oh. My husband, he put a fire in the basement last night. Because it's sort of damp, you know. It's been damp. It's not been anything but damp. So, yeah. Guess he was trying to dry things out. He said he couldn't even get the fire to start for a long time. So he had to resort to using, was it lighter fluid or something? You can always tell when he uses that because it's smelly. Ugh. But today it's gloomy, but it's not raining very hard. I don't know what it is. I was telling somebody I felt like I lived in England anymore. Because they always have rain, don't they? Alright, we are going to go around the outside edges with this ground espresso here. And one of my little round brushes. And give it a little bit of character. I don't have to go all the way down, remember, because I got a pocket going down there. And this is just to give it a little bit of an edge. Front doesn't need anything. You might want to go around the outside edges because of the white. I mean, but these are like going to be little inexpensive pieces for the the shop, so you don't want to put too much work into them. Otherwise, you won't get paid for it, really. All right, so now we're going to go back to using a brush, and I'm going to grab this one for the dark. I haven't tried a brush with this yet, but everybody was saying how well it does. Now I'm going to go with black soot, or not, no, scorched timber. Give me a good bit. Oh yeah, good bit on there. Kind of really juicy right there too. And start putting it on. Now I thought I was going to use ground espresso, didn't I? The problem or difference in the two is the scorched timber is like black. It's got a black shade to it. It is black. You don't really see too much other than that. And then with ground espresso, it's a warmer shade, much warmer. All right, let's see what, yeah, oh, cool. That is blatant, isn't it? All right, let's see if we can't do this. We'll turn one way. I definitely want to have the found. Maybe we'll do it this way then. Doesn't matter. And then if I go off the edge, it won't hurt nothing. Yeah, I definitely want the found. Woo! That's getting it done. Did I have the... Yeah, 13 came out over there. Now, I wiggled it, but I'm sure I can find that spot again. Yep. Now, you can you can do deep or heavy in one spot, and then let it go light in another. Let's do that, because I went a little overboard on that first section. Okay, let's do like that. Let's see what happens. Oh, yeah. I like that better. Much, much better when you have a little bit of variation. All right, so I'm going to go this way this time. And we're going to get down to this section where it goes to the pocket and hide that. Okay. There we go. So that's how we're going to fix the inside. And let me stick that over here. And I'll take that and clean it. All I have to do is wipe it off with a wet rag if I need to. Well, which I have one right here, don't I? And sometimes I'll use this. I'll use the actual plastic that it came out of. In some cases, you can hold this down on, like, let me show you here. Like, if you've got where you have used this on something, and you want to see if you can get some of that ink to come out, let me show you here. Let me see if it'll come off. The excess that's left on here, it didn't do it that hard, did it? Sometimes you can get it to give you another impression. But that sure didn't do anything for me, did it? Maybe I didn't have it on there thick enough. But try that sometime with your stencils, especially if you've been using it several times for something. And, you know, it is dirty, but it'll get by. All right, let's see what else is next. All right, let's fix our pockets. Yeah, Dad was saying that I made that bigger than I meant it to be. Or did I? No, I didn't. So all you got to do is fold this in half, and then we're going to fix the pockets. Now, Dad was saying that the money they got off of that the creamer jar that they sent in, was only about $5, but they used that to pay the light bill. And he said to pay the light bill every 2 months, and it was only $5. So there was not much, you know, in the light department. I guess they were using. Who knew? All right, let's see what we can do here. Gonna put these two together. Gonna turn this over. And that's going to give us about the size of the pocket that we're needing. Okay. These little pieces, you can keep it to put like words down with, which we might just do that. And then we're going to get in here and we're going to cut the thumb punch out. Ooh, and they hit the trash can. Yes! Score! Okay. Then we have to get in here with our edge. We'll do that. I'm not sure what color I'm using here. This this might be ground espresso. Okay. But yeah, if you need to make some little booklets, these are the easiest thing in the world. Now I'm going to pull out a few papers, and then we're going to go from there. All right, I found this piece that I had left over from that steampunk pad, the old one that this girl gave me a long time ago. And I'm going to put a little pocket on the front of here with this on each one. I just got to measure that out and cut it. But it's got little skulls on it, you see. So that's going to blend in nicely. All right, it ended up being 1.5 by 4 5/8. And I'm just going to rub around the outside edge with some of the ground espresso just to get the white off. And I picked out 5 maybe pieces of paper. And the thing is, I'm going to split the paper. Okay, that goes with that one, and this goes with this one. And it's going to, maybe it's 6. But I picked out one of my black ones. This pretty blue, like a sky blue or midnight blue. The creepy, coffee dyed one. And then this one. I can't remember how I made these. I have a few more of them left, but I cannot remember. Unless those are done in the basement. I can't remember. This was definitely done in the basement on an orange fall tablecloth. One of those vinyl ones with a felty back. And it leached into the green that I had. So I got this cool design on there. And I think I still have that tablecloth, so we can figure it out. And then, of course, an orange. This was like a fall color one. I can't remember. I probably made it recently, but anyhow, what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to stack them as close as I can get together. But anytime you hand dye, you're going to have a variation in the size. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of go down this side. And we're going to cut it in half. So half of them, which it'll be 12, I guess, because 12 papers in each. So we're going to lift this up, see if we can get this under here. And this is 11 and a half, 8.5 by 11. So since this is 11, I know I need to be at 5.5 and cut that. And that's going to cut it evenly. Oh, sorry, I almost lost my darn phone. Okay, that's done. So I have one for now and one for later. Oh. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put that on last. We're going to go ahead and get in here and finish our pockets. And I've got a few other things. I got some more of my Poe words, so we'll pick one of these, like the premature burial. I really like that. So we'll probably put that in here. And go ahead and put us some glue here and glue down our pockets while we're at it. And I've already cut my thumb pull in here, so I've got to go down a little bit further than the thumb pull. And then what we're going to do is a U-glue. Glue around the outside edge. And there we go. And then even up with the corner and the edges. Make sure you're not close. See, I've got about 1/8 of an inch there between me and the spine. And that's a good distance. That's all you need. Okay. Now I'm going to do the second one. All right. I had some of these from that Tracy Fox, the kit I was using. Oh gosh, what is it called? Something in the belfry. Hang on. Sorry, I thought I heard somebody at the door. I think my husband's out there. But Gothic in the belfry. I use some of it in my Gothic Poe journals. Anyhow, so I picked out a few little thingies here to put on or in the book. I also had these, and I never did use any, so we're going to use like a couple of them like those to put on the front of here to decorate this with. And we're going to put our spooky word in the middle of them. Now these I got at Hobby Lobby, the paper studio, and I got them in the sticker section, I guess you'd call it. And I never did use them in my Gothic Poe. Thought they would work really well. I just never got around to doing it. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it down on here. One says Dead Heart. Gosh, that's not the same color black, is it? Oh well. Oh well. And we have Unforgotten. And I'm going to put that one on here. Okay. Then I have a few little pieces that can go in the pockets, like that little spooky witch. And we have, maybe we'll put her back here. I'll put this spooky guy right here. This one's going to go on the front. We also have little ones, like there's a couple of hands. I kind of wondered about putting that on the front up here. But his finger's going up above there. We'll just do like that. And then we'll have that one there where you can see the rib cage. And I did want to put, I'll put that on the papers. Yeah. And then I did have this other tall one for in here. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to do the front. And we're just going to go ahead and glue it down. Just like that. I'm not going to do anything else with it. I don't know if this glue is going to be the best hold. It may have been fabric tack because it's got a little bit more thickness to it. We'll see. See if I can get some of the taller areas here. Alright, let's see. I don't want to mash on it too much because you'll lose all your embossing details. So let's see how that works. And while that's kind of going down, we're going to take this, and do I want, that's not far long enough. Maybe that one? I don't know. Let me see if I can find something to put the premature burial on. Okay, I had some of these over there. This is where I sprayed something a while back, and I kept them because they have kind of a neat design. So we're going to go ahead and glue this on here. And it kind of looks like dirt. That's what I'm going for. Got a dirty look to it. So it kind of reminds me of a premature burial. And then all we're going to do is take, and this was some of that watercolor paper I had. And then we're going to go along here and cut this out. There. Straight enough? Okay. And then we're going to use some of the scorched timber to do the outside edge. There. And then that can go on here. Now, let me mention the idea, since there's nothing going on here, this is the perfect spot for it. This idea can be used for anything, any kind of theme. It doesn't have to be what I'm showing. You know, I'm into the Halloween now. I'm all into it. But that'll work really nice right there. I don't know if it's because this is a foil that it doesn't want to stick immediately. It likes to stick to paper, but to foil it probably takes a little longer. I did notice that using fabric tack with the foil the other day, that worked pretty good. Alright, so what we need to do is get this glued in, or not glued in, sewn in. So what we're going to do is let me get a couple of paper clips. Okay, so I'm going to just do a 2-hole pamphlet stitch. I don't know if you'd call it a pamphlet stitch if it's just 2, but it's all you'd need for this size. You're going to get it in the middle. Use a couple of clips of some sort to hold it in there. And then you're just going to poke you a couple holes. Where's my pokey tool? I'm just going to poke it about right here. And about right there. Doesn't have to be much. Okay. And I'm just going to use a little bit of this thread. Actually, that fell off right there, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to take it, and we're just going to do it from the outside this time instead of the inside. And thread it in like that. And that's all that's all it takes. That little bit. Okay. Now you want to watch you don't pull it and bow it, but just pull it enough to get it to be. And I have heard that if you go around one more time, it will hold easier. So maybe try that instead of 2 like you do, like you're tying your shoe like that. Instead of just that time, you go around one more time. And you put it down, and then it holds a little bit easier, I've heard. I don't know, but we're going to try it. It is stuffy back here in this room, I can tell you that. Alright, a little bit okay. And then we're just going to tie a bow. If you don't like a bow, just cut it off. Alright, and then we're done with these 2, and then we're going to get in here and do a little decorating. I had some of this left from before, and I think I'm going to take it and I'm going to rip it down, maybe like that, and then I'm going to rip a little more off at the top. See, that could be added anywhere, but I like it. I think I might do it right there. Okay. And then I can actually ink the outside edge of my vellum if I wanted to, but I'm choosing not to. Anytime you do a ripped edge like that, though, it really holds the ink very well. Very well. Okay. So I'll put that on here just so it's something decorative. It's kind of, I don't want to cover up my pretty little messy spot there. Well, I still did it anyway, didn't I? That's okay. That gives that edge a little bit more strength. Put a little more glue under there. Alright. And then we'll put our spooky guy here. Put him right there. There we go. There we are. I should have inked the edge, but I didn't. So well. Que sera, sera. I'll go way over here and put him. You know, I didn't get around messing and covering my spot. No matter what I tried, did I? Okay, and then we'll go back here and we'll do the same thing. Well, let's go ahead and leave that bud on there. And get rid of this area up here. Does that work? Yep, that works for me. I got to go out here and detox for a little bit. Read me some of my book. Help me relax. And then I could get back here and work on some covers. There we go. If you have a little bit of a coming up of the edge there with your vellum, just go back under it again with a little bit more glue and press. And that usually keeps it down. You can also use like a sort of a scraper to go across it, and it helps distribute the glue better and get you a better result too. All right, we're going to use this over here so we get some more spooky vibe. And I'm going to use up whatever I had printed with these little booklets. I figured I'd do them instead of, you know, some paper bag journals. All right, let me wipe this off. Get rid of that. And we'll see what we got. Okay, I think this is it. All right, if you had any dangles, you can put them on there. I didn't want to use my black because I think I'm going to need my black. So, let me see. Get everything out of the way. All right, here's our little book. It has our skeletons on it that you saw me do. And here is... Where is the other one? Oh. Well, I'm looking for the other one. Oh, this was it. I had it buried, of course. Obviously. But this is the one we did today. And you can see the difference. See, that one's got more silver showing. This one's got more of the background dark. So that was the difference. And then we used a premature burial on there. I need to push that a little more so it stick better. And then we open it up. And we have our inside. We've got the spooky skeleton here. And we have our body. And then we got the unforgotten. This little skeleton thingy here with the leftover vellum. Several little pages. It could be like a notepad if they wanted to use it for that in the holiday or the Halloween season, you know. And then we have this creepy little people back there with the skull and more of the vellum. And then the haunted house. And see, it's got a skull down here. That's why I thought it would work. The creepy hands. And I think that's a witch, but she's got a skull too. And that one says Dead Heart. All right, I hope you liked that. Got some ideas for your own little makes for the Halloween. You can give that out instead of candy this year if you don't like giving kids candy. All right, I want to thank all my subscribers and viewers. Everybody have a great, great day. Take care. Bye-bye.